those tutorials that we shared with you. And I'm sure we'll say this again at the end. Contact us if you have any questions.
Absolutely.
We would absolutely love to be your Think partner and come in and model or whatever it is that you need. So our integration ideas. First, one of the best ways to use Padlet is to get work off of those iPads. The worst thing is, especially in shared iPad classroom environments, is there's always a struggle with, now what do I do with the work that's now on these 6 iPads or these 7 iPads? I don't know what to do with them. Do I email them to myself? Do I what? Well, once your students know how to use Padlet, you could create a Padlet board with a QR code. The kids can scan it and they can post their work right there to the Padlet. Now, not only do you have the Padlet to display and have a QR code outside, or you can export it, whatever you want, now you also have all your student work to be able to see. So you don't have to get each iPad and go and try and find it. Another great way with the whole class iPad situation is to create a Padlet board to put like your whole class set of book snaps or anything that they've created like that, where the whole class has done something but you need some place to put it so that they can all see each other's. That's one of the great things about Padlet is if you're doing a book summary through a book snap, how great. They're like little mini book talks. So how great for the whole class to be able to see what everyone individually has done.
Absolutely. One of my favorite ways that I've seen Padlet used, and that I've used Padlet myself, is practicing that academic vocabulary. Because Padlet, you can take snapshots with the camera on the iPad or the Mac or the Chromebook like we showed you. You can have children hold up different pictures that you've curated, and then they can label them with a different academic vocabulary that matches that picture, or they can fill out sentence stems where they're fitting in the academic vocabulary. This is really great because by picking a set of pictures that the kids can choose from, you are not limiting to them to this is the picture you must use for this vocabulary word. They can kind of see what matches their vocabulary words, and then you get that rich discussion with them based off of what picture they chose to match with what vocabulary word and for what reason. One of my favorite examples of this is I was doing it with first grade science, and they had the word shelter, and she had a picture of a turtle. And so when I went over and asked her, well, why did you put a picture of turtle on the Padlet for shelter? And she explained to me, well, because a turtle lives inside its shell, so it is its own shelter. And I knew immediately through that discussion and looking at the Padlet that she knew what that academic vocabulary word meant. So just, it's a way to facilitate those conversations as you see things going up on the Padlet.
And another great integration idea, sort of going off what Julia said, is Padlet allows for commenting. So then you have a common place where teachers and students alike can both go to provide feedback and commenting on student posts. So going back to the same book snap or book review idea, through training, we don't just let them go with commenting, right? So with digital citizenship comes time for training about what appropriate comments are, but once you've had that training, you allow them a chance to give feedback on one another's work, to give positive and critical feedback, both. It's a really powerful place, and the ease of it is what is so awesome. The commenting is very easy.
It is very simple. And one way that we've also seen teachers use it too, that kind of goes along with that feedback and that reflective piece, is students creating individual work bulletin boards. And then the teachers will put a bulletin board out with the student's picture and their name and their QR code to their Padlet. And on that Padlet, you can scan it and you can see all of the work that students are proud of, and maybe a little sentence or two describing why they chose it and why they're proud of it. This is the perfect lead-in to our e-portfolios. Getting kids comfortable with self-selecting work and figuring out why they selected that work. Doing it on a Padlet first just takes a little bit of the pressure off of it, maybe for some of them, and then they can go back and look at that Padlet and say, that's something I want to include in my e-portfolio. That's something I want to include in my e-portfolio. But really remember, for those e-portfolio pieces and for those Padlet pieces too, they really should be reflecting on that work and writing a reflection. A reflection is most impactful and most beneficial when it's done when the work is completed, not after.
Amen, sister. Oh, also, one thing that Padlet will allow you to do is to use your own background images. So the great thing about this is if you want to use a graphic organizer as your background image, maybe it's a KWL, what are those called? KWL, yeah, KWL charts. And so kids can post their Post-it notes under the what they know, what they want to know, and what they've learned. So I love that they let you use your own background images.
You put up thinking maps,
Yes.
thinking map images as well. That's really helpful.
That's a great one.
I always love it when the teacher will use the stream option to post pictures, right? And then the students can comment on the pictures about certain attributes they might recognize in those photos. One of the complaints that we have a lot of the times is, our students, how do we get quality pictures? Well, you can put the quality pictures on the Padlet for them. You're curating the images for them, and they can take them off of the Padlet, first of all, but then they can also comment on those pictures if you're looking for a unique quality. For example, one of the teachers in second grade did it with animal adaptations. So she posted different pictures of animals, and the students commented with the adaptations that they saw. You could do it with descriptive words. You can post different pictures and have students list all the descriptive words if you're trying to work on that vocabulary development with them, especially for writing.
I did it with a fourth grade teacher with the phases, the moon phases. And so we put up different pictures of the phases of the moon, and the kids commented about what that phase was and why.
And why. So it doesn't have to be the kids posting all of the things. You can post things and have them comment on it, and they will still get a really rich experience.
Awesome. And then the last one that we're going to talk about is global collaboration. So the great thing about Padlet is through either your shared URL or your QR code, you can easily share that same Padlet that you've worked on with classes outside your school, with classes outside your district, with classes outside your state, and outside your country. And it is absolutely amazing to be able, the kids are so excited to see other kids comment. When I was in the classroom, I used it for the Global Read Aloud. And so we created a Padlet, we shared it with our 3 other classes we were collaborating with through the process. And we would post questions as the teachers, the students would comment, the students would post about their I wonders, about what was gonna happen next, about character descriptions. I mean, it's really amazing. And the fact that you don't have to have a login is really super beneficial.
Yeah, I have some teachers that are using it in replacement for something like Flipgrid or Recap, because you can still post the videos there and you can use it on the web. So those 4th and 5th grade teachers can use it on their iPads, where Flipgrid and Recap currently you cannot, though that might have changed. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, so they're connecting with classrooms outside of theirs, the kids are posting videos, and then the other students can respond to their videos in that way.
And again, the great thing about the commenting and the feedback is in a classroom culture where you're spending time teaching them how to comment back to one another, brings it all back to digital citizenship again. You know, everything that we do, we pre-teach, we model, we show them what to do. I know that kids get in trouble commenting sometimes, so it is a great place for them to start learning how to do that. You can delete comments that you don't like. My kids, when I was teaching, if it didn't have a capital letter and ending punctuation, it was gone, right? Like, their comment was gone. So instead of just always blocking off that feature, we love Padlet as a way to start introducing it instead.
And having those conversations that they need to learn now what's appropriate, so that when they become middle schoolers and high schoolers and college students, they're not getting themselves into trouble with that comment feature, because it only gets more severe from here.
Exactly.
So we hope you enjoyed our little tutorial session on Padlet. Like we said, this is one of our favorite tools. We hope it becomes one of yours as well.
And we promise that we will start making our videos shorter. Julie and I love to talk.
We just love to talk, but we're passionate about instructional technology.
So we're so glad that you could join us from P1 today for our Padlet info session and tutorial.
We will see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.